Hello. In this video, I'm going to be looking at migrating a website to Elementor hosting. I'm going to be doing it in real time, or almost real time, because some of the processes do take a few minutes and I won't want to bore you with that. So I'm going to be cutting it in the edit to make it a little bit shorter, but everything else you see is going to be done in real time. Now, let me explain briefly why I'm doing this. I've been a very long time customer of Cloudways, and they've always been brilliant. I think I was one of their actual first paying customers, and I've loved Cloudways, and I'll tell you why. Because they make managing the server incredibly easy. I have used things like cPanel in the past, and that's great at what it does. But my business is making websites, and my time is most valuable when I'm making websites, and not while I'm messing with server settings and trying to get things working. And cPanel can be complicated even for experienced users. So one of my reasons for going to Cloudways is that they make it incredibly easy to manage your website. However, and it's a big however, I manage 60 plus websites for clients, and I have six Cloudways servers, and it's become very, very expensive. So I was looking for alternatives, and I've been aware of Elementor hosting for a very long time. In fact, I tried it out even before it was officially launched, and I think Elementor themselves will admit that back in those times, it wasn't great. It wasn't particularly fast. In fact, it was really quite slow at times, and it lacked in any real features. For example, there was no way to access the database directly. There was no way to SFTP into the server. It just generally lacked the sort of features that you want. Today, though, it's a different matter. I've been experimenting over the last couple of months with websites on Elementor hosting. They are very, very fast. In fact, some sites are even faster than I was getting on Cloudways. The feature set is now complete, and again, it makes managing your server incredibly easy. So I've now made the bold decision to move my websites over to Elementor. In doing so, I will save a huge amount of money. I don't think I will lose anything in performance. In fact, I think for some sites, particularly WooCommerce sites that I've tried, I think I will actually gain some performance. And that could be because they've got things like Cloudflare Enterprise built into the package. And something else to consider as well, of course, is that when you host with Elementor, you get a license for Elementor Pro included in the package. So you've got no cost of any additional plugins like that. So that's my reasoning. And I've begun moving websites across. I've done a couple already. And today I'm actually going to be migrating my own business website. And the purpose really is to show you how easy it is to migrate and how simple it is. There's no complex settings to edit or anything like that. It really is straightforward. So without further ado, I'm going into Elementor websites here, and I'm going to ask it to create a hosted website. Okay, it's asking me which subscription to use, and I'm going to say migrate an existing site. It just tells me what it's going to do, and then got it, let's go. So domain name, https grassmedia.co.uk, like so. It'll go away, and it's doing something quite clever now. It's using the API from a plugin called Migrate Guru to generate a migration key. So this is going to take a few moments to do. It will actually take you directly here to the Migrate Guru website to download the plugin. This is a great plugin. What we'll do though, just to save a little bit of time, we'll go over there, go to the dashboard, go to add new plugin. Okay, and I'm going to search here for Migrate Guru. And here it is. It's by Migrate Guru. It's got over 100,000 active installs. So this is the one you want to make sure that you've got. I'm going to say install now. So it's installed, and I'm now going to activate it. You'll see in a moment why Migrate Guru is such a great solution and how well Elementor have integrated it. So I'm just going to go here and say migrate. And the first thing you see is a number of hosts, but obviously the one we're interested in here is Elementor, and this is how they've made it extremely easy. So just go back to here. So I've got the, where's the key? Let's go to Elementor. It's still generating the key. It can take a little while because it relies on the having the plugin loaded on the site, which of course we've only just done. I should mention here, actually, just while we're waiting, all of my domains are registered with Cloudflare as the domain registrar, and of course they're all going through Cloudflare as a content delivery network. And this is where I edit my DNS settings, which we'll have to do a little later. But whoever your domain registrar is, you will have a similar interface to this. So GoDaddy, for example, or Namecheap, or very, 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 very similar. So go back here now. I see we've got our key here. I'm going to copy the key. We'll go back to our website here, and all I do now is paste in the key. Now there's a gotcha here, and I'll actually show it to you. I mentioned that all my websites go through via Cloudflare, and of course that includes a certain degree of security. So the issue we've got there is that it will look at this attempt as somebody trying to get into the back end of the WordPress website, which it won't allow. So what I'm going to do is just pause Cloudflare on here temporarily, and we'll go back to here. I did all of these steps, yeah. Okay. And now I just pop back here and say migrate. Obviously, if you're not using Cloudflare or any sort of security that's likely to cause a problem, you won't need to go through that step. But I learned that if you don't pause Cloudflare, it will fail. It will tell you what the problem is, but it will fail. So what it's doing now, it's going away, validating the details, validating the key, and it will begin shortly migrating the website. And that's all there is to it. You've got there we go, and it's underway now. You've got this large and rather annoying advert for Malcare, but what we're looking at here is in the bottom, and it will tell you how it's doing. It's found 56 of 56 tables. Very shortly now it will start migrating the files, and then finally it will take the table the contents of the database tables. So you'll see this website is just over 506 megabytes, half a gigabyte thereabouts. And it's currently migrating it to this temporary domain name which Elementor has set up for me. Okay, so I can say done here, and it will take me back to the dashboard, and here I can see site for migration. It's underway. Okay, so I'm just going to cut there. It's currently, as I speak here in the UK, 4 minutes past 11 a.m. But we'll come back to this very shortly. It shouldn't take long at all. In fact, yeah, it's now actually finished all the files. It's now doing the final transfer. It should be finished quite soon, but we'll pop back to this in a moment when it's finished. I'll just chop back in here now to show you it's finished transferring all the files, and it's now transferring the contents of all the database tables. That's 23 out of 58. So we're getting there quite quickly now. It's now just on 10 past 11. So it's it's about 6 minutes since we started this process. So it's now 12 minutes past 11. The migration has completed, and I've now received an email from my great guru telling me that 506 megabyte has been successfully transferred. Now, if you think about just how easy that was, I just had to load that My Great Guru plugin, and from there on in, it was all automated. I didn't have to pack it up and get it into a zip file and do all the other stuff you sometimes need to do with migration plugins, which can tend to be very unreliable, particularly for larger websites. Using this process, the largest site I've migrated has been 1.9 gigabytes, which is quite a large website. It was a WooCommerce site, and that happened again really very quickly, probably within about 20 minutes, and it just works. So let's head on over now to our Elementor website dashboard once again. Just reload that. So here's our site now. It's come into Elementor, and Elementor's then done its stuff on it. So, for example, it's loaded the particular version of Elementor Pro. It's handled all the licensing. I've got no additional licensing to do or anything. And in fact, I can go here now and open the WP dashboard direct from here. Just take a couple of moments. I say Elementor's still doing some work on it, but it's here now. Yeah, I've got some reconfiguration to do of the plugins, and that's down to the plugins that I'm using. There's certain plugins that I will no longer need. So, for example, WP Rocket is redundant. That's going to save me a bunch of money. There's things like Cloudways cache-in plugins that I will no longer need, and a few other things. But at the moment, if I try and use the website, I might get complaints from some of my other plugins like Jet Engine and so forth that it's not licensed. So our next job is to transfer the domain across to Elementor, transfer the domain across so it then becomes known as grassmedia.co.uk and not as this temporary URL that Elementor has given it. So just to prove a point, we'll just go and look at the website here, and there it is, exactly as we saw it. Everything's working as it should on the original site. So this is great. The name of the site, everything else, all the settings have been transferred as they should be. So let me just take that down. Let's go over here now and say manage this website. This is where we're going to pair up the domain. And it actually tells us here to connect a domain. So that's what we're going to do now. You can choose here to buy a domain. If you don't have a domain already, you can choose to buy one, and there's a 10% discount on that. And this makes it incredibly easy to set up a new domain. But I'm going to connect a custom domain because I already own it. And the domain name is grassmedia.co.uk. Okay, there we go. And we're going to say continue. And this is quite clever. So say, let's begin. It's going to connect me grassmedia.co.uk as my primary domain, and also the www version. So let's say, let's begin. And this is quite clever. It knows, it's found that our domain is registered with Cloudflare. It's gone away and it's found that out for itself. I didn't tell it. And now I can continue to sign in. And it will use its API to go to Cloudways. It asks me to authorize the changing of the DNS records, like so, and it will remove those. So it will change those to those. So I can authorize it, like so. It asks me to just confirm it. Authorize and remove conflicts. Okay, I'm going to say connect my domain. Back to the dashboard, and now in the background now it's going away and it's updating those DNS records. Now, depending on who your domain registrar is, can depend on how long this takes. It warns you that this can take up to 72 hours. These days, I've never known it to be more than 24 hours with any domain registrar. And in fact, with using Cloudflare as a registrar, it's normally done within about 30 minutes. So we'll just cut the video at this point and we'll hop back in once the DNS records have been propagated. So here we are then. It's about 45 minutes later. It's taken 45 minutes for the new DNS records to propagate, and here I am. This updated automatically. Here I am in the Elementor website dashboard, and you can now see that my domain name grassmedia.co.uk is now primary and has a custom domain of the www version as well. So there we are. We're all good. The transfer has happened. All in all, it took us 1 hour and just about 1 hour to do the whole thing. So I think you'll agree that that's actually pretty good. And if you're wondering what happens to your website in that hour, your website's never actually down for more than a few minutes, literally 4 or 5 minutes, because even if the domain propagation hasn't happened, Elementor itself will automatically, once you've done the DNS records, will automatically route it to your website. So literally your website may be down for, I don't know, maybe 5-6 minutes at the very, very most. So there we have it. Just to show you, there's our website on our new platform. I can now go ahead and remove this from Cloudways. I've been through the plugins here, deactivated some that I no longer need, and you'll see things like Fluent SMTP. I no longer need that because I'm going to be using Elementor site mailer for sending email from the website, and that's something we'll have a look at as a separate video. I've loaded up the Elementor image optimizer and deactivated Imagify because the image optimizer from Elementor is less expensive. It's also a bit faster, and one of the things I like about it is, opposed to Imagify, is that with Imagify, once you start bulk optimizing the images on a site, you have to remain on that page while it does it, and that can be several hours in the case of a large website. Whereas with Image Optimizer, A, like I said, it's a little bit cheaper to use, but B, you can set it going and go away and do something else, and it'll all happen in the background. So I really like the Image Optimizer from Elementor. So yeah, I'm throwing my hat in the ring all around with Elementor. Keep it all under one bill, one place. It makes managing websites a whole lot easier. So there we are. Just to go back here, show you everything is working as it should. All is well. I didn't have to do any messing with licenses or anything like that. It's all as it was, so all good. Hope that was helpful, and any questions, obviously, please drop them in the comments below. And yeah, hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching.